Okay, so let's get right into it. We've all heard scary stories, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about how they work, what makes them tick? Today, we're not just going to tell you a terrifying story about being lost in the woods. Nope. We are going to pull it apart, piece by piece, to really understand the anatomy of fear itself.
Just think about that for a second. What comes to mind? A growl? Maybe a twig snapping behind you? Well, this story suggests that the most dangerous sound might actually be something you're hardwired to respond to with compassion. And honestly, that's what makes this whole thing so incredibly chilling.
All right, part one, the setup. You see, every great horror story, every single one, starts by making its main character, and by extension you, feel completely and utterly vulnerable. Before any monster shows up, you have to set the stage for terror. Let's see how it's done here.
I mean, look at this. It's the perfect storm of classic horror tropes, isn't it? Our protagonist is driving alone, which gives us total isolation. Check. It's midnight, the witching hour when every shadow looks like a threat. Check. And to top it all off, she's lost. She's in an unfamiliar place, which completely strips away any sense of control. The foundation for fear is perfectly laid.
Now, this is what I find so interesting. She's not portrayed as someone who's easily scared. The story calls her a daring woman. Driving alone at night? No big deal for her. And that's such a brilliant move because it gives her and us this false sense of security. It basically tells us, hey, when she finally gets scared, you know the threat is for real.
So let's see how this thing builds. Because the threat doesn't just, jump out from behind a tree. It's way more clever, more insidious than that. It actually shows up looking like it needs help. And in doing so, it turns the protagonist's own humanity into a weapon against her.
And there it is. That's the moment. That sudden jolt that just shatters the quiet darkness. Think about it. The safe little bubble of her car is instantly gone. An unknown person is right there, right outside her window. It's such a simple, startling action, but it's the perfect trigger for everything that's about to happen.
And just listen to the words she uses. They are chosen with surgical precision. Help me, my baby, accident, bleeding. This isn't just a simple request for help. It's an emotional fire alarm. And it's specifically designed to bypass all your rational thought and just hit you right in the heart.
And this slide just lays out the whole internal battle perfectly. Her gut instinct is screaming, stranger, in the dark, do not get out of this car. But then you have this story of a bleeding baby, and you can hear it crying in the distance, and that targets her empathy. The sound of a baby in distress is one of the most powerful psychological triggers we have. The trap is officially set. So what happens? She gets out of the car, her empathy wins, and with that one single decision, she walks straight into the trap. This is the story's big turning point, right? This is where that feeling of concern starts to curdle into pure, life-threatening fear. Just look at how this plays out. Step by step, she gets farther from the road, farther from her car, farther from safety. That crying sound gets louder and louder, just pulling her deeper in. And then, that tiny moment, she stops to check a scratch on her leg. That's the fatal distraction. Because when she looks back up, the woman is gone. The trap just snapped shut. This right here, this is that moment of dawning horror. The person who led her here has vanished, but the lure, that crying sound, it's still there. Suddenly, that sound isn't a call for help anymore. It's a beacon, leading her straight into an ambush. She's all alone, being guided only by this disembodied noise.
And the story never tells us what this something else was. Was it a tape recorder? Something way more gruesome? And you know what? That's the genius of it. By leaving it blank, our own imaginations fill in the horror, which makes it personal and way worse than anything they could describe. Whatever she saw, it was enough to send her into a pure animal panic.
This is the question that fuels everything that happens next. It's what makes her run. Because what you can't see is always, always more terrifying than what you can. The real source of the crying, the woman's true goal, that something else she found, it all just melts together into this one terrifying unknown that she now has to escape.
Okay, so now we're entering the most primal part of the story, the chase. All that psychological manipulation is over. Now it's just a raw, physical race for survival.
I mean, is there anything more terrifying than the sound of footsteps behind you in the dark? It confirms it. The threat is real, it's moving, and it is right on your heels. She isn't running from a possibility anymore, she is running from a pursuer.
Yes, you feel that moment of relief right along with her. She's back in the metal shell of the car, she slams the locks down, she's safe. But the story's not done with her yet. In her panic, scrambling to get away, she dropped her keys. The one thing she needs to escape is still out there, in the dark.
This line is absolutely bone-chilling. The woman just reappears, not like some monster, but with this calm, almost mocking tone. The psychological games are back on, she holds all the power, and she knows it.
And this final standoff is just a masterclass in building tension. The clock is ticking, the police are on their way, the woman slowly walks toward her with the keys, playing this terrifying little game. It's the sound of the sirens that finally saves her. But the pursuer, she just melts back into the woods, gone, like a ghost.
So she survives, but the story doesn't just end there. The most effective horror, the kind that really sticks with you, lingers long after the danger is gone. So let's look at the aftermath and the story's final haunting lesson.
So she's physically safe, but there's absolutely no closure. The police search, they find nothing, the woman just vanished. And that ambiguity is terrifying, right? Was she human? A predator? A ghost? We never find out. The threat is gone, but the mystery is still there, and that's what's so deeply unsettling.
And this is the scar that the experience leaves behind. This once daring woman is now fundamentally changed. Her ability to trust other people is just shattered. It just goes to show how one single night of terror can completely and permanently change how you see the world.
And ultimately, that's the question this whole story leaves us with. We just saw how empathy was masterfully used as a weapon, and it forces us to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, if we were in that situation, faced with a desperate plea for help, what would we do? Would our own instinct to help be the very thing that puts us in mortal danger? It's a truly frightening thought to end on.